is so. I already forgot. I screwed that up. Oh well, we're gonna
12.
we're gonna keep going. Episode 12, week 13, because we did miss last week with the holiday and everything. So, all right.
Yeah, holidays kind of mess everything up because it turns out we were sitting in the same place at the same time and still couldn't manage to pull it off.
Exactly. So, let's start with tonight's game, Thursday night game. New Orleans Saints at Dallas Cowboys. This game is interesting to me, especially because it's in Dallas, so it's a road game for the Saints, even though it's still a dome. Dallas is a good defense. They're pretty frisky, and they look good with Amari Cooper. Ezekiel Elliott's running well. The offensive line's looking better. Even the play calling's been more interesting as of late. They've been on a kind of a run here. I think they're in first place in their division, if I'm not mistaken, or they're close to it. New Orleans is just a juggernaut, man. I mean, is there anyone you can pick right now that could honestly just stop that team?
The Chiefs. Oh, stop the team?
Yeah.
No.
I don't think so either.
There's a team I think can keep up with them scoring wise, but I don't think there's a team that can stop. Well, I don't know, maybe the Rams, but
I mean, they kind of cleaned the Rams' clock a couple weeks ago. I mean, it was competitive, but I mean, the Saints controlled that game. You know what I mean? And I think they would do the same thing with the Chiefs too, depending on where it was played, of course. So, I don't know. I think this game is interesting, and I actually am going to watch it because I think it'll be fun. But I don't expect. I mean, because even New Orleans' defense has been playing pretty well, honestly. I don't think Dallas. Because to win this game, in my opinion, you've got to score every time you have the ball, and I don't think Dallas will. I think they'll have a few dead drives and like 3 or 4 punts, and that'll bury them because those will be 7 points each time probably for New Orleans. You know what I mean?
Yep.
So I think the Saints win this one by a couple touchdowns. Maybe it's close, but I just don't know if Dallas can do it. I don't know. But Thursday night games are weird, so it's hard to tell what the hell is going to happen. But I like New Orleans. I think it's a safe pick.
Yeah, I think the Saints will beat them by 17.
Oh, see, I like Dallas' defense more than that. I respect them much more than that. I just think, I don't know if they'll blow them out, but I do think they'll win. Because Dallas, their whole defense has been playing well. But
they're only ranked 8th, and the Saints are 15th. I mean, the defenses are similar.
No, I agree. The defenses are absolutely similar. The Saints defense has been awesome this year, really, considering what we've known them to be. It's just they're so hard to stop offensively because every time they go down the field they score, so it's hard to keep up with. So, all right, let's move on to the Sunday night, not the Sunday night. I'm sorry, just the Sunday slate of games. Let's start off with the Baltimore Ravens at Atlanta Falcons. What do you think about this game?
I don't really know what to think about this game. It depends on what. Well, it depends on which team shows up for both teams.
Yeah.
Is Flacco going to play? Is Flacco not going to play?
He's not practicing, so I think it's going to be. I'm pretty sure I either saw an article, Lamar Jackson is going to start again, I believe.
Yeah. I don't think Atlanta can stop him. He just makes it so difficult because you've got to, you can't focus on the pass or the run. You got to focus on him and the run. And with all their little shenanigans, it's very difficult to defend.
I agree, man. He's running teams over, and yeah, he's turning the ball over when he's throwing it. He threw a couple picks last week against who did they play?
The Raiders.
The Raiders. Yeah. Oh, right. Yeah, you would know.
Yeah, but I was watching that game, and those picks weren't his fault. One hit the receiver right in the hands and bounced over his head, and the other one was just an outstanding coverage play that
okay.
the average person doesn't make. They weren't bad decisions, and
Okay, that's good to know because I honestly didn't know that, and from what I heard, it was just he turned it over. So I didn't really get a lot of context.
And neither one of them. Yeah, like I said, neither one of them was bad. One was a great defensive play, and the other one was just a weird defensive play.
Right. Okay. Well, that's okay. Well, that's cool. And and honestly, I think John Harbaugh is going to ride the guy that's going to save his job, which right now it seems like it's going to be Lamar Jackson. Honestly, so I don't know. And they have really good defense still. They're not playing as well right now in the recent stretch as they did at the beginning of the year when they were like a top 5 defense for a while. but they are still playing very well. So honestly, I think I'm taking the Ravens on the road in Atlanta.
Yeah, I am too. Because Matt Ryan's going to Matt Ryan again.
Yeah, I just think he's not very good. No offense. He's got a lot of talent. I'm not sure it translates to a quarterback that can help you win a lot of games. Does that make sense, though?
I don't know. They're fourth rated passing, seventh rated offense, but it just.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like
stupid things happen, but they can't run the ball to save their lives, and they can't stop anybody. That's their other big problem. 28th in the league in defense.
Right, exactly. And they were cursed with a plethora of defensive injuries this year, so that sucks for them. But, that's how it goes sometimes. Some teams are just, shoot, the Chargers were like that for 4 years, and they're still kind of banged up. And they just lost Melvin Gordon, but whatever. All right, so what's the next game we've got? So we're both taking Baltimore, by the way?
Yeah. Okay. Panthers at Tampa Bay.
Carolina's on a 2 or 3 game losing slide here, but I'm taking them because I don't know. Tampa Bay's been frisky these past several weeks, but they can't really win a lot of games. And I don't know, man. I don't like Jameis Winston, and I don't like Ryan Fitzpatrick, and I really don't like Dirk Cutter.
Me neither. All the same things, except I'm taking Tampa Bay.
Is it because they've been frisky and it's in Tampa?
It's because of that, and because the Panthers just keep finding new and exciting ways to lose games.
Yeah, they really do. Like, it's been pretty weird. Like, they're kind of
like Graham Gano is like solid. Right. Solid. And now he's got the yips. Like, you can't put him at the 2-yard line and have him kick a field goal and be certain he's going to make it.
Right. It's weird, man. It's so weird. I don't know. I think they've lost like their last 3, right? Or last 2 at least. It's weird.
I can tell you. The answer to that question is the last 3.
Yeah, see, they're on a slide, man. I don't know. But this is where they get right. If you're going to get right, you get right against Tampa Bay, your divisional opponent, on the road. It's kind of a tough game. In theory, it's not that tough, but it honestly will probably be closely contested. I just think get right here. You get right, you get back on track, and you get in the wild card, Well,
the last game they won was against these very same Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Outstanding. Good work to know that. So that is what they'll be telling themselves all week. This is the team we beat last. Let's make sure we beat them again. All right. Let's move on to okay, so you're taking Tampa. All right, cool. So is that our first split?
I believe so.
All right, cool. I like when we split because we usually agree on a lot of these. So, Chicago Bears at MetLife Stadium for the New York Football Giants. What do you think about this game?
I think it's going to be a boring game.
Because the Bears are going to handle it from start to finish?
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. Even when the Giants are in close games, they're not interesting. Like that Eagles game last week when they controlled it for most of the time and then they just blew the entire lead and let Philly come back. It wasn't even interesting. Like, I don't know. I just wish we could, honestly, I wish we could delete the NFC East in its entirety. Just delete it. I just hate it. I hate it. So, with that...
We should just do away with both Eastern conferences.
Oh, AFC East. Oh, no. I like New England now. Come on now. No. We're not going to do that. It took me a minute to get what you were talking about.
I should have said divisions, not conferences.
Well, yeah, I was like, Eastern conferences, and then I was like, what the hell? I'm like, wait, the Pistons, the Cavaliers, the Bulls, and I'm like, what the hell are you talking about? So, yeah, you threw me for a loop there. I was not expecting it. Yeah, I'm taking the Bears. I like Khalil Mack's playing much better. He looks healthy, finally, after that ankle injury was hindering him and causing him to miss a few games earlier in the year. And Eddie Jackson, I mean, I don't know, man. That guy, you pointed him out to me specifically, and I've been watching him since you and I talked about him off air. And he's got to have at least a case for Defensive Player of the Year. He's sick.
Dude is really, really, really good.
He's very good, dude. He's so, like, Eddie Jackson is dope. So, and no one talks about him. Like, I didn't even know his name. You know what I mean? Like,
yep.
So, yeah, I'm taking Chicago. Eli is trash. I'm just going to say it. So, and also not a Hall of Fame quarterback. Although he'll make it, but he doesn't deserve to. I just want to throw that out there. Next game. What do you have? Bills Dolphins, right?
Buffalo at Miami.
God. Okay, just pick it. Let's not even talk about it. I don't.
Buffalo.
I do too. I agree. Buffalo, Josh Allen's looks serviceable, honestly. He really has most of the year. And they have a much better defense. So the only thing that could hinder them is it being in Miami, but it's December. It's going to be, it'll be December 2nd. So, I mean, it might still be 75. I don't know what the hell the weather's like in Miami, but
87 is what it's supposed to be.
Ugh. That's, but either way, yeah, Buffalo. They have a good defense, and so AFC South matchup here.
The Indianapolis Colts against what's that dude's name? Cody Kessler.
Oh yeah. Cody Kessler is the starting quarterback for the Jacksonville Jaguars this week, and this game's in Jacksonville, which makes me think maybe that defense plays, a little with a little more hype because they have not Blake Bortles starting, even though Kessler is not much better, but at least it's not Blake Bortles.
Yeah, let's run a few important topics down though. There's a lot of concern that Jalen Ramsey's not playing this week.
Okay.
Leonard Fournette's suspension was upheld, so he definitely won't be playing this week.
Right.
And Blake Bortles has been benchified.
Yep.
And I'm pretty sure the Colts will beat him by about 20.
I was going to say, and the Colts are frisky as hell. The Colts are good, man. The Colts, by the way, okay. I cannot remember the quarterback. I do. Guess, out of the last, 3 or 4 weeks, guess the 2 quarterbacks who have been hit the least. Not just sacked, but hit the least. One is Baker Mayfield. Number 2 is Baker Mayfield. But the first, Andrew Luck. They have fixed that. That's courtesy of Chris Wessling, by the way, NFL.com. He said that stat, and I thought that was super interesting. You would not pick those 2 guys if you were to think about it. You know what I mean?
Yep.
The Colts have fixed that offensive line, dude. They're hard to stop. They're hard to get through. Andrew Luck has never had an offensive line this good, ever. He's always getting his ass beaten. Finally, he got people to block for him, and they're winning games. So, Colts.
So you taking the Colts?
Oh yeah, by a lot. I agree with you. I just wanted to talk about them because they're actually. I'm honestly interested in this team, and I think. I just can't. What I can't wait for is the Colts-Texans matchup that we're going to get in a few weeks because that's going to decide this division, and hopefully both teams make it into the playoffs because I think they're both kind of fun to watch. So I'm rooting for one of those teams to get a wild card because I think that'd be fun. So, but yeah, I'm taking the Colts as well. So let's move on to, speaking of the Texans, the Cleveland Browns at the Houston Texans.
I just got to say this. I'm taking the Browns and Freddie get out of my kitchens.
Man, okay, so here's my thing. Baker Mayfield, twice now, he's woke up feeling dangerous. And that's tight, and I get it. But here's the thing, and I love Baker Mayfield. I'm all in on the Baker Mayfield's, the Baker Mayfield jam. But here's the thing. The Houston Texans have won 8 games in a row. That ain't fluky. At a certain
They're due for a loss.
Okay, maybe, but they also could.
And I'll take that frisky ass Nick Chubb and Callaway and Baker running around, scrambling, making plays. They got Denzel Ward. They got a ton of talent now. They got Hughes, educationally challenged ass Jackson out of there.
Yeah, we'll get to him in a minute with the Bengals.
They're doing much better. Much better.
They absolutely are, and I think as
play calling is better.
As long as
they completely turn that team around.
Yeah, I agree. As long as they keep Greg Williams, from killing someone on the sideline, they honestly. Here's the thing, right? Here's the thing. What is it? Week 13.
Yep.
If the Browns win this game, we're honestly talking about them next week as a very serious potential wild card team, which is insane.
Yeah, 9-6-1 will be tough to get in, but
it will, but it's not impossible.
It's definitely not impossible.
So
and then well, here's hold the phone there, Pancho. So here's the other thing though, right? So they're only technically, I guess, they're 3 games behind Pittsburgh.
Right, and they tied with Pittsburgh already. So if they can beat Pittsburgh also has to play New England, and they have to play the Chargers. So there's a roadmap. Is that
Cleveland winning the AFC North?
Is that where you're going?
Yeah.
Right. I'm going there too. Here's the thing. Is it going to happen? Probably not. Because as soon as I get hyped about the Steelers possibly going on the decline, because I hate the Steelers, they rise up, and I'm just like, well, that sucks for me, but whatever, we'll still beat them because New England always does. Yeah, I know, I'm a cocky Patriot fan, but we own them. But the whole point is, I can never I don't let myself get sucked into, are the Steelers actually not good anymore? Because they almost always are. But but they do have a very, very tough schedule. And like you said, I agree, man. There's here, okay. You aren't saying that they're going to win the division, right?
No, I'm not. I'm saying that kind of piggybacking off what you said about, here it is week 13, and we're talking about potential of the Browns being able to do stuff. Well, they've only got to play Cincinnati again, who they thoroughly took care of. They got to play Denver in Denver. That'll be a little bit of a interesting game, but that's going to be I think that's a Thursday night game.
Yeah, it's going to be a tough
they got to play Carolina, but it's in Cleveland.
Yeah, and Carolina's not that good right now.
And they only got to play Baltimore.
Where is it at?
Baltimore.
That's kind of tough too, but if it's still Lamar Jackson, there's a roadmap to beat him too.
But my point is, they don't have to play Pittsburgh. They don't have to play New England. They don't have to play Kansas City. You know, there's a whole bunch of teams like that they don't have to play. So, I mean, I think if they beat Houston, they have a decent shot of. And man, the whole AFC is all weird this year, anyways, as far as like records of teams and stuff like that, you know.
It is, and so here, let me jump in real quick because we've spent a little too much time on this game, although it is an interesting game to me. And I'm actually, by the way, I don't always talk about this. It's interesting to me anyway. This is the 1 o'clock game I'm watching. By the way, like this is it. This is gonna be fun for me, so I'm excited about that. Let me just 4 weeks left. These are the teams that Pittsburgh has to play. Chargers on Sunday Night Football. It is in Pittsburgh, but that is not a gimme at all. They get to go to Oakland. That's probably a gimme. Then they get in Pittsburgh again. They get New England, but that is not a gimme game at all either. And New England owns them. Even in Pittsburgh, they do. Then they've got to go 2 days before Christmas on the road down to New Orleans. That is going to be tough. And then they do get the last week 17. They get Cincinnati back in Pittsburgh. So 3 of those 5 are in Pittsburgh, but that's what I'm saying. There's a roadmap there to lose 3 games easy. 3 games. So that's man.
If they
Browns.
But here's the problem. I think they beat Cleveland earlier because they've played them twice.
They did. They just beat them a couple weeks ago, 33-18.
Yeah, so that's the problem. The problem is if the Brownies win out and the Steelers lose 3, then Pittsburgh wins the AFC North. So Pittsburgh's got to lose. Pittsburgh can only win 1 game, and the Browns have to win every game.
Yeah, but Pittsburgh's prone to dropping anything. Maybe Cincinnati. Well, no, because Andy Dalton's on IR.
Yeah, not with Jeff Driscoll at the helm.
All right, Jeff Driscoll, save the Cleveland Browns.
Yeah, right.
I mean, I don't know.
Okay, so let's get beyond this game. I picked the Browns.
But that is interesting. I'm picking Houston, but I'm actually you know what? Hold up, now I have to change it. Let me just say this. I think Houston will probably win that game. I want Cleveland to because I think it would be friggin' awesome. So I'm picking Cleveland because I want to root for them. So I don't want to be rooting against my pick. Does that make sense?
So you're picking the Browns.
I'm picking the Browns as well. I think Houston's going to win, but I hope Cleveland does, and I'm feeling dangerous. All right? So let's move on to the next game. I'm going to be super quick. Denver Broncos at Cincinnati Bengals. The Bengals, thanks to Hugh Jackson, who fixed that defense, are giving up like 500 yards a game. They're on a crazy lose streak. Andy Dalton with a thumb injury?
Yeah.
Thumb injury. He's out for the rest of the year. He's on injured reserve already. He's on IR. Jeff Driscoll, as you previously mentioned, will be the starting quarterback. If you don't know who Jeff Driscoll is, you're with
everybody else because nobody else does.
I actually do. I remember him playing at Florida when Aaron Murray was in Georgia, so I do remember Jeff Driscoll. It's weird.
Yeah, I know who it is.
Okay, yeah. I actually remember him, although he ain't that good. He was on San Francisco. I think he was on a couple other teams. I think he got drafted by he may have been undrafted. It doesn't matter. Anyway, Denver's looking good, man. Denver just beat Pittsburgh, and they played a hell of a game. I was texting you on Sunday, like, dude, this is my favorite game, not involving the Patriots, because obviously they're my team, that I've watched this year was Broncos Steelers. And I'm not a fan of either team whatsoever. In fact, I wish that they'd tied because I hate both teams. It was fun, man. It was a very fun game. You had a back and forth all game with some good defense thrown in and then some scoring. And Case Keenum led a game-winning drive after Juju Smith-Schuster hit like a 90-something yard touchdown. It was a fun game. And Denver pulled it out. Just like the week before, they beat a good Charger team. Although the Chargers chargered in that game. They missed an extra point, and Anthony Lynn was, he was coaching, so that's always not great. I don't think he's a very good coach, but I think Anthony Lynn is pretty responsible for like at least 2 of their losses this year alone, which is bad decisions. But Denver's good, man, and Cincinnati is not good. So I'm not a huge Case Keenum guy, but he's shown me some stuff this last month or so. I'm riding with the Broncos.
Yep, that's who I'm picking.
So yeah, and I know it wasn't. I could have said less, but I wanted to shout out Denver for playing a hell of a game. Honestly, it lasts a hell of 2 weeks, and I don't know. They're interesting to me right now. They're a possible wild card team as well. So you never know. I don't know. They're frisky. They have a super easy schedule too. Like there is a roadmap to them going 10-6, which is kind of crazy, but there is like they play. I just want to look this up real quick because everyone was talking about this. What's up?
Your sound is going away.
Oh, can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you, and then all of a sudden, all of a sudden you're back.
My bad. Yeah. Okay. So they go at Cincinnati. That's winnable. At San Francisco, that's winnable. They get Cleveland at home on Sunday night or Thursday night. I don't know what that is. It just says 8:20. I think that's what is that? The 15th of December. What is that? It's Saturday. Okay, that's a Saturday game. Then they got to go to Oakland. That's a win. And then they get the Chargers at home, who they already beat. So there's a roadmap to them going 10-6, which is kind of crazy, but it's not impossible. So, but they're like a classic 9-7 team who's frisky and will make it to the playoffs and might win a game, might not. But Denver's just interesting to me, so I just wanted to talk about them for a minute. So the next game is what? Rams at Lions, right? What do you think?
There's nothing to talk about. The Rams are going to destroy them.
Yeah, I agree. I'm not sure if Marvin Jones is going to play, but he's still banged up.
He's not. He's out.
Yeah. Okay. So all they've got.
Matter of fact, I think he went on IR.
Oh, that sucks. Is Kerryon Johnson going to play?
No. Okay. Well, he's week to week.
Yeah. See, and them combined with Kenny Golladay make a really good, nice little, not really good, but a pretty interesting, supporting cast. But without those guys, that offense is pretty one-dimensional because they have to rely way too much on Theo Riddick and Matt Stafford, who I'm not a huge fan of. I like him, but I'm not like there's like 15 quarterbacks. Well, at least 10 quarterbacks I would obviously take over Matt Stafford. So, yeah, Rams by a lot here. Like, a lot. So, this next game's interesting to me because of one thing, and I want to talk about it. So the last 1 o'clock game on Sunday, Arizona Cardinals, Josh Rosen at Aaron Rodgers, and the Green Bay Packers. Packers by a lot? Is that what you think?
I don't know about a lot, but...
Yeah, that's what I was going to say, because I thought you were going to just say, I don't know, man. They're finally using David Johnson, which they should have been. They've been in first gear the last few weeks. The defense is playing well-ish, at least. Green Bay is in a spiral, dude. They're not good. And it is Mike McCarthy's fault. And injuries also on the offensive side. Mike McCarthy got to go, man. Aaron Rodgers looked dejected after that last loss to... who did they just lose to?
I cannot remember who they just played. It was a team I thought they were going to beat.
I'm going to look right now. Oh, Minnesota on Sunday night.
Yeah.
But before that, too, they lost to
Seattle.
Seattle, yeah. And he's just looked dejected, man. Like, Aaron Rodgers, he said a couple years ago, RELAX. Then last year, he said, we're going to run the table. He just said...
This year, all he's got is rookie receivers.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then Jimmy Graham got hurt.
Exactly. And he played, but he didn't play that well because he's banged up. So,
Yeah,
I don't know.
He lost both his tackles in one game. I mean, he's hurt. He's just getting his ass whooped all the time.
Yeah, I think Aaron Rodgers needs to start limping in the first quarter of this game and say, and just go to IR and just say, you know what, get rid of Mike McCarthy. Let's retool this crap because I gotta get something going here, man. This is trash. He's not a good coach. Like it's such an uninspired offense with him, and I can't stand Mike McCarthy. I'm sorry.
I know. I know.
I hate him.
He's aggravating. So who are you picking?
Oh, Green Bay for sure. I just wanted to talk about that because I feel like it's so under the radar because we all think, oh, Aaron Rodgers, but like, no, dude, it's Aaron Rodgers and literally me and you.
Yeah. So let's go to the first 4:00 game.
Yeah.
Nothing to talk about. Since the Raiders did in fact win a game, I have not picked them since. By the way, because remember I said I was only picking them until they won, and they actually won a game. So
right,
I no longer pick them. So Chiefs by 30.
Yep, Chiefs by 28, but it's going to be a lot. It's going to be madness. So it's Chiefs in Oakland, which means nothing because you say they play well in Oakland, and Oakland usually plays well in Kansas City, right?
Well, that's back when they had players.
Right. No, yeah, exactly. So they didn't trade them all to Dallas and Chicago. No, I'm just kidding. But yeah, no. The Chiefs by a lot, dude. By so much. Like, the Raiders suck. They're just so bad. The Raiders honestly might be the worst team in football. I think they are. Who's worse?
I don't know.
Well, who? No, I'm actually asking, who do you think's worse? Because I actually don't know if I would take any team.
Cardinals are worse than we are.
I don't think they are, though. And they've got.
I know they are.
I don't know, man.
Dude, they've got David frickin' Johnson. They've got Larry Fitzgerald. They've got Patrick Peterson. And they've won 2 games.
Yeah, that's because their whole coaching staff is trash, and they didn't use David Johnson the whole first half of the season. And once they started using him, they became frisky.
Yeah, and got beat by us.
All right, look.
I'm just saying the Cardinals are. I'm just saying that there's 3 teams in the NFL that are equally sucky, and on any given week, those 3 teams could beat each other, and that's about it.
I agree with you on that. I just think, personally, that I would much rather have the Cardinals roster than the Raiders one. That's all I really meant.
I would rather have anybody. I'd rather have Alabama's roster than the Raiders roster at this point.
All right. Well, all right. So
but Alabama doesn't have 4 of the first 35 picks in next year's draft.
Well, yeah, but in theory, but they all might be Alabama players. They're all that damn good. So.
Well, it better not be because the last 3 we've had have all gone to hell. Rolando McClain, Amari Cooper, and Gabe's turned out well. Gabe Jackson's turned out well. He was from Alabama. Anyways, meanwhile, back at the ranch.
Yeah.
Chiefs by a lot. We don't care.
Yeah.
Jets, Titans.
I also don't care. Titans by quite a bit. Not maybe not a lot because they're not an uninspiring offense unless apparently they play the Patriots. Just like the Jaguars aren't an inspiring offense unless they play the Patriots because that's how you score a lot. Apparently, is just beat our ass. But what is it called? Sorry,
Titans.
I got sidetracked. I'm sorry. Yeah, the Titans are going to beat the Jets. The Jets are not a good football team. Josh McCown's getting his ass whooped back there behind that not very good line. And the only player. So let me ask you a question: how many players from that Jets? Do you know that Jets roster at all? Like at all?
No.
No. Okay. Well.
I mean, I do. I know a few of the guys that are good players that I like. But...
So how many good players? And this is what I want to ask you because we're both taking the Titans, right?
Yeah.
Okay. How many players from the Jets roster would you actually take? If you could just say, I want these guys to come to the Raiders or whatever, because, the Raiders are your team. These are the guys I want. And you can just pick all of them, forget money, forget everything. Just, you want those guys. Who would you take? Because there's only like 2 that I'm taking. Maybe 3. I'm taking...
Yeah, so I would take...
Here, I'm going to start you off. I'm taking Jamal Adams. He's their best player, and he's friggin' awesome, and I love his attitude. I'm taking him. I'm taking... Because I like how he plays. If he would stay healthy, I think he's actually really, really good. I like Quincy Enunwa. And this is just me thinking as a Patriot fan. I actually would take Bilal Powell because I think we could use him. He's frisky as hell. But that's it, man. Like they don't like I
Well,
don't really. Robbie Anderson's fine and all, but I mean I guess I would take him, but I'm whatever. But like they
so
don't
here's
have.
the guys I would take. I'd take Leonard Williams.
I forgot about Leonard Williams. You're right. My bad.
I would take Tremaine Johnson. I would take Marcus May. I would take Jamal Adams.
I forgot Truman Johnson was there, but I'm not high on him. He hasn't played that well.
Because their defensive coordinator really sucks.
I agree.
mean, they've got some outstanding talent on that team on defense, they can't seem to stop anybody.
Right, and I agree with that.
Because their coaching sucks.
All phases of their coaching suck too. Like it's their offense. I can't remember the coordinator's name, but he's garbage. He's so bad. Todd Bowles is probably out here too, by the way. So.
Yep. Anyways.
But yeah, no, yeah. I just wanted to know because I saw a tweet about that on Sunday, and they were like, and someone was like, I can't even think of one person I would take, and I'm like, well, I would love Jamal Adams, but I can't really think of many others. You know what I mean? So like, they don't have that great of a roster. They really don't. So better hope Darnold pans out because if he doesn't, man, that's yikes. They're in for a dark turn of the century, even though it's not the turn of the century. So I don't know what I'm saying. All right, let's go to 49ers at Seahawks. What do you think?
Seahawks.
Yep, Seahawks. They've been playing well, man. They beat Carolina. They beat Green Bay before that on Thursday night. It's in
the Niners are just bad.
Yeah, they are.
Reuben Foster's gone. Their quarterback situation is a mess. Yeah. The only team you can play good against if you're a quarterback is the Raiders. If you play anybody else, you're going to suck.
Yep.
Terrible.
Yeah, the only thing they have good for them is that at least Jimmy comes back next year, you know? Maybe.
Yep.
So it could be his ACL, so you never know what's going to happen. So who knows? Yeah, Seattle by at least 14, probably more. But Seattle's really, really interesting to me. Like they're the team that kind of annoys me because I'm just kind of sick of watching them over these past like 4 or 5 years. But you kind of can't kill them. They're like that. They're like that serial killer. That they're like, surprise, bitch. And you're like, okay, he's still alive. You know what I mean?
Yep.
They just can't kill him. You can't kill Russell Wilson, man. He's good. All right, the last 4 o'clock game. Good. What's up?
I said he is good.
Yeah, he's awesome. He's still very much fun to watch play football. So, last 4 o'clock game is the Minnesota Vikings at the New England Patriots. This game terrifies me because there's so very clearly a way that the Patriots get destroyed by this team. Yet this team should be destroying everybody, and they're just not. And I don't get it. But I'm taking New England because I think the Tennessee thing was not a fluke on the Titans' part when they lost to them a couple weeks ago before the bye. I think it was a fluke on the Patriots' part, meaning they didn't play that well and they had everybody hurt. Michelle was out. Gronk was out. They lost a couple guys on their offensive line during the game, and they were already missing their left tackle. I think the Patriots aren't as talented, but are much better coached and consistent. So I'm taking New England. And if it was in Minnesota, I wouldn't pick against the Patriots anyway, but I would not be confident. I'm pretty confident that they're going to win this game. But I think it will be a close game, and I think it'll be fun. And 2 things. I have no idea what we're going to do to stop Harrison Smith from killing Tom Brady, either by picking him off or hitting him, because he can do both. And I also have no idea what we're going to do about Adam Thielen. But we'll find out. It's going to be fun. That's for sure. So, but hey, we have Sony Michel and Gronk back, and they both look well. Gronk, I don't know, man. Gronk scares me because I think this might be like one of his last years, the way he's moving around and stuff. But Sony Michel is awesome. Sony Michel is very cool. He had, I don't remember what he had last week, but he had like alone a 38-yard rush canceled out by a penalty. And then he had like 150 more yards at least running the ball. Like the dude is sick. So I love Sony Michel so much with all my heart. But yeah, I'm taking the Patriots.
I'm taking the Vikings.
Oh, okay. I see you. Why? I want to hear some analysis from you.
Well, there's not a whole lot of analysis other than I'm trying to pick a team that you're not picking. And I think if there's one team that can at least try to defend them, it's the Vikings. The Vikings have the athletic ability.
Yeah.
They have the players to defend. They don't necessarily always have the right scheme to defend. But I have a feeling that if anybody could do it, maybe the Vikings can do it. And again, like I said, I'm just picking a different team to be picking a different team.
That's fair. And it's not a bad pick. It's not like you're picking the Dolphins, in New England.
Exactly.
So
I'm not. Yeah, exactly.
I get it. I'm confident in New England, especially if we have Michelle. Because if we have Michelle, we are a different team right now. That's how good he is, which is kind of crazy to say about a rookie running back who's only played like 6 or 7 games. But we are an extremely different team when we have him, and we are a much better team with him. So I'm taking New England. The Sunday night game is going to be fun, and I can't wait for it. I wish it was in LA, although it would still be as loud as it's going to be in Pittsburgh because the Chargers don't have a crowd because they're not the team of LA. They shouldn't be even in LA. It's the Rams' home. But yeah, Chargers at Steelers. What do you think of this game?
I think with Melvin Gordon being out,
right. I forgot about that.
Being in the nighttime, being in the cold at Pittsburgh doesn't necessarily suck. If James Conner doesn't fumble the ball, I think the Steelers win.
And he looked good last week. He looked pretty good. So I don't know. Actually, he did have a fumble last week, didn't he?
Yeah.
You're right. My bad. I was thinking about he had some issues earlier in the year too, but no, he did lose the ball against Denver.
Yeah, but I'm taking the Steelers on that one.
Yeah, I think I am too. I would love to see San Diego. Yeah, you know what? Screw it. I want to call them San Diego. I would love to see the San Diego Football Chargers win this game because I hate the Steelers, and I also love Phillip Rivers. I think he's awesome and fun to watch. But without Melvin Gordon, even though Aaron Eckler's... Is it Aaron or Eric?
I think it's Aaron.
I think it is Aaron. Aaron Eckler is awesome. He's very good. They still are going to miss what Melvin Gordon brings to that offense. Keenan Allen's having a pretty good year. They look good. Mike Williams scored last week. I expect more out of Mike Williams, though, so I want to see more out of him.
Mike Williams, I don't think even played last week.
No, he did. I'm pretty sure he had a touchdown.
I'm pretty sure he was inactive last week because I was like, holy crap, why is he not playing? Because it was on my little Twitter feed.
Not only did he play against the Cardinals, he actually had 2 touchdowns.
Mike Williams. Well, who was surprisingly inactive last week?
For the Chargers?
Yeah, I could have swore it was Mike Williams.
Did Keenan Allen play?
I don't know.
Yeah, Keenan Allen played. He had a touchdown as well because they blew out the Cardinals. It was like 42-10 or something crazy.
Yeah. I don't know. Anyways, too much time on this game.
Yeah. No, I mean, not really. It's going to be a fun game. So you taking Pittsburgh?
Yeah.
You know what? I'm taking the Chargers. I'm changing my pick. Because I want to pick a different team than you, and I also think that they can win it. And it would be freaking awesome if they did. So, I
definitely think they can win it. If it was in LA, I would pick the Chargers.
See, well, here's the thing. They actually play better on the road, believe it or not. Just because they don't have a good home crowd, like I was mentioning earlier. But I do get what you're saying about that. Yeah, I'm taking the Chargers because I think they can, and I think they will. And I'm not sure about Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh just lost to Denver, and Denver is like a frisky team, but Denver's not a great team. And I kind of feel the way about the Chargers, except I think they're better than Denver, so they should be able to. Even with Aaron Eckler, who's been awesome this year, I think that they're going to miss some Melvin Gordon stuff, but I think they can find a way to throw it a few times against that secondary. So I'm taking the Chargers. So that's a 50-50 game to me. That's why I flip-flopped on it. Because I actually think I was going to pick the Chargers before we started the podcast, and then I changed my pick before we did the game, and then I'm changing it back. So I'm really a flip-floppy on this one. So, all right, last game, and then we'll wrap it up. The Redskins at the Eagles. Alex Smith broke his leg. That sucks. It's same injury as Joe Theismann had, too, wasn't it?
Same injury, same day.
Same age, right?
That I don't know.
I thought maybe I could be wrong. I thought it was the same age for some reason, but I could totally be wrong about that. The Eagles are not good. The Eagles are not making the playoffs, but the Eagles will win this football game. And they might make the playoffs because they do get to play the Redskins twice, which means they're automatically actually 7-6, even though they're 5-6 now. Because I don't think that they can beat. I don't think the Redskins can beat the Eagles. We'll never know. Colt McCoy could light up this defense because that whole secondary is injured. But
Eagles.
Yeah, I think so too. I think it'll be a close game though. I think it's going to be not fun to watch that game either. So I will not watch that game. I shall watch basketball. So, all right, that wraps up another episode of the 108.1 FNFB podcast. This was fun. Go Patriots, right? Woohoo! No. All right.
No.
Well, we'll talk to you later. Thanks for listening, guys.
Toodaloo!